So here, spawning at the top left corner of the map, we have our lovely blue Zerg player, hailing from Korea, and also playing and representing for the team of Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Give it up for ZEST. And spawning here at the bottom right is the red Zerg player, also hailing from Korea, but representing the team of Kaizi Gaming. Make some noise for Solar. So as I was mentioning earlier, we do have 3 tiers mainly for the Alpha Pro series. There's one sub tier that I'm going to explain further, but anyhow, we usually have the regular Alpha Pro series, which has a kind of a minimum base price of $50. And then of course the next tier is the premium tier, which has a base price of $100. And then the elite tier, which is our highest tier, is a base price of $150. And this is all, of course, sponsored by Africa TV. All 244 of our Alpha Pro series has been sponsored by Africa TV, and so we definitely appreciate and would love to just give them a shout out for their amazing support for these past few years. And then of course, as I mentioned earlier, there is a kind of like a branch sub kind of tier, which is the Alpha Pro series Super Standard. That's a kind of a usually a little bit of a different format, like a more of a 4-player type of format. But in terms of the best of 9 1v1 type of Alpha Pro series, there's those 3 tiers that I mentioned earlier. But anyhow, let's get right back into this game. This is going to be a PvZ on Death Aura, and as you can see, ZEST sending out his early probe, doing that lovely block off on the natural, forcing Solar to place that dirt base in the 6 o'clock position. Now, looks like ZEST is going to go ahead and elect to go for the Stargate tech here. And I don't blame him. He is very strong and has displayed a lot of great games using this Stargate opening. Now the question is, will he send out that initial adept? We see sometimes Protoss, of course, send out that first initial adept once they pop out, but then we also see sometimes that they kind of wait for that second adept because 2 adepts actually one-shots drones. So there are times where you can kind of wait for that second adept and just move out with it in coherence with the Oracle. But it looks like ZEST actually going to go for the Void Ray opening instead. Now I'm not sure if Solar has scouted this. Yeah, it has not yet scouted this, so he is pretty much in the dark, and that's kind of surprising to me because usually when I would say if the Protoss does not get scouted with his Stargate tech, they will usually kind of open with the Oracle. While on the other hand, if they get scouted by the Overlord, they will kind of open up with the Void Ray to kind of immediately take out that Overlord. But ZEST kind of doing the opposite instead here. Going to be interesting to see how he does this. He is going to follow up with a follow-up Oracle behind this Void Ray, so he is at least going for some Oracle harassments. But in the meantime, he is going to go ahead and try to distract Solar with this Void Ray. And you know what? I guess another kind of idea is that you can open up with the initial Void Ray to kind of clear out those Overlords on the outskirts of the Zerg bases, so you can kind of surprise your Zerg opponent in terms of where the Oracle is coming from. But by that time, usually the Zerg player will have some Spore Crawlers or some Queens parked in position to even deal with the initial Void Ray. So I would have loved to definitely see ZEST open up and switch the openings around, where he will just go for the Oracle first and then follow up with that secondary Void Ray. But in the meantime, not too much damage done, as the Solar does defend pretty well. And that's going to go ahead and have ZEST kind of transition into the Twilight and Forge. I'm going to guess it's going to be Charge Lot. I can't imagine Glaive Adepts. It's kind of a bit too late for Glaive Adepts. at this point. Especially since Solar already has his roach worn down. He's got his lair about to pop and morph. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a charge, and probably going to be the standard charged lot into Archons, into Immortals, Storm maybe. Or it could definitely be the Colossus build, of course. But I expect him to... Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe he's just going to stick with the Stargate here. We do see 2 Stargate coming out for ZEST. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if he does kind of stick with this 2 Stargate Void Ray play and go all out Void Rays, or is he going to make those a few initial Void Rays and then start transitioning into carriers? Or maybe even start transitioning into Storm Tech. I've seen ZEST go for that fast Storm transition if he does get the Hydralisk transition by the Zerg, but it seems like Solar has yet gone for that Hydralisk then. Instead, he's going for the Infestation Pit, which is about halfway done, so he is going to go ahead and go straight into probably Hive. I would imagine he would just go straight into Hive and start getting Lurkers. But we shall see. He is making a couple of roaches, and ooh, what do we have here? We have ourselves the Nidus Worm, the Nidus Network. I'm sorry, to be technically correct, it is the Nidus Network, and he is going to probably go for a oh, actually Swarm Host. Interesting. I'm a bit iffy on this kind of answer by Solar. So he's basically going for a Swarm Host with some Queens and some Roaches and Lings, and using the, of course, the Nidus Network to get those Swarm Hosts across the map a lot quicker. But we do see here, of course, ZEST has like full vision of his main base, so I don't expect the Nidus Network, or the Nidus Worm rather, to pop out in the main base. It seems like the first Nidus Worm will be popping off at the right side. Let's see how ZEST deals with these initial Swarm Hosts. Alright, another Nidus Network, Nidus Worm being plotted down here at the main base, but these Locusts will go ahead and start firing here at the third base. The third base is actually pretty wide open and naked. Where is the rest of ZEST's army? Okay, it's finally going over there, but is it a little bit too late? Oh no! These Locusts, as you can see, so strong. The damage output is so powerful, and that third base, that third Nexus, immediately goes down. A little bit of a miss, I guess, positioning of ZEST. His army was kind of out in the middle, so wasn't able to save his Nexus in time. Now, the good thing for ZEST is that he already has another Nexus up and running. So even though he lost that third Nexus, at the very least, he's still on pretty much even footing in terms of bases. But that secondary Locust Wave will go ahead and once again force the cancel. Oh, not even a cancel. No cancel on that Nexus. That's a complete teardown by the Zerg Locust. And what does ZEST do right now? I mean, does he go for the kill, or does he try to keep defending? It's going to be hard, because if he keeps having to deal with, you know, more Locust waves after waves, it might just kind of dwindle his army down to the point where he can't even go for a counterattack at any points. But we shall see. Maybe he can kind of build up to that big, scary Protoss ball and just go for the kill, and hopefully that works out. But in the meantime, he really doesn't have any intentions of walking across the map, it seems. Alright, Void Rays are going to chase him. Oh, actually kind of traps these Roaches a little bit. These Void Rays coming from behind as well. A little bit of a kind of unfortunate movement there by Solar. Will allow ZEST to pick off some of these Roaches. More Storm going down on these Locusts and these Roaches, and this might be the kind of the timing window for ZEST. I mean, all these Swarm Hosts has already thrown out their Locusts, so it's going to be a quite some period of time before the next wave commences, or I guess it recharges. And so this might be ZEST's opening here. Oh, it's going to be a close one though. Actually, you know what? Even if the Swarm Host does recharges, there's not like a scary amount of Swarm Host, so this might still work out. The scary thing for ZEST though is that he doesn't have a lot of Storm left. Only 2 Storms for ZEST. The rest of these High Templars have been morphed into Archons instead. And here we go. The Locusts are thrown out. But these Archons are just chewing away all these Locusts. The splash damage is so good for ZEST. And ZEST looks to power through into a win here. Can he do it? I think he can. GG, ZEST will take a game number 1. And against some scary Nidus play by the Zerg. So well done there by ZEST. All right, so let me go ahead and add in my co-caster here. Oops. I just exited out. All right, let me go ahead and just quickly add him to the voice call. Hey there.
I'm glad to have been able to be here after having some network problems, and I've been watching for the last few bits of the last game. It was kind of a banger, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty solid, standard kind of PvZ, I would say. Nothing like too insanely crazy. But ZEST, he does pick a nice solid win for game number 1.
He decided just the right timing. Beautiful cast, my friend. And I can't wait to join you for this second game of the series.
Yeah, all right. Why don't you go ahead and introduce our first player here.
All right. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner here on Jagannath is the blue Zerg player. Needs to do better than the last game to come up to such a fearsome foe. It is Solar.
And spawning here at the top right, we have our lovely red Zerg, red Protoss player playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Guys, give it up for ZEST.
No real surprise with the choice by Solar here. Going into Jagannath, one of his favorite maps, very good Zerg map. Really kind of expecting this, but I'm not sure how ZEST wants to play this out, since he's such a unique player on these bigger maps.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, does he go for that same Stargate opening as he did last game? I mean, it worked out pretty well for him, but does he change it up? Go for maybe a depth timing or maybe DTs? We shall see. Once the cybernetic core is done and the initial depth or so is out, we should see the tech path coming out here for ZEST.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting another Stargate game. Merely due to how big this map is, really. Like, air units go a long distance on these kind of maps, and I really think that it's the best opener that ZEST has at his disposal. So I'm kind of expecting that. I'm also curious about Solar. Like, the Swarmos play was an interesting one. I think he also performed quite well on that, but I'm unsure about what was the missing piece. Maybe not enough roaches. Maybe getting those roaches trapped in that position was a mistake. You gotta to be careful. But Swarmos on this kind of maps, this is a big map. I don't think he will go that way. Maybe Spire? Who knows?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, you know what? I gotta say, like, whenever Zerg players go for the Swarm Host choice against Mass Stargate, it seems to never really work. Like, it has a very low success rate, I mean, from the games that I've seen. So I'm not sure that's like the best choice for a Zerg player to go for Swarm Host against that play. First of all, they can't attack. The Swarmos can't attack the Void Rays or anything, and there's not enough queens there for Solar to defend them. So the roaches were kind of useless. They couldn't go into the Void Rays, and so I would definitely love to see Solar kind of go for a different route if ZEST decides to go for the same build.
Yeah, also, like, those oracles by ZEST kept getting value. Like, in the end of the game, I think the last one oracle, like, killed, like, 5 to 6 Wormos. The last one, it was kind of crazy. Like, keeping an oracle alive without really any threat to it can generate so much value over time. So, well played by ZEST there. But, yeah, as you were saying, I think Solar needs to do something better and something different here.
Yeah. Now, very interesting wall by ZEST here at the natural.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I don't usually see the cybernetic core being thrown down at the backside. But let's hold that thought. There is a group of Zergling trying to break through. I can't imagine they will be breaking through especially with that Void Ray and second adept. So yeah, he should be fine.
Yeah, getting a little bit of scouting information, knowing that there is a Void Ray. Of course, it's kind of good news for Solar, knowing that he can right now tech up to something different, and he's already starting to put down some Spore Crawlers. I think this is definitely the right choice, but I would like him to try to tech up a little bit faster, honestly. Oh, Oracle barely survives.
Yep, we'll go ahead and we'll be able to live another day to tell his story of his survival. But yeah, it looks like ZEST going for the same build here, adding that second Stargate. So fully expecting those Void Ray productions to ramp up.
Roach Warren and Lair started at the same time. I kind of like this. I'm not sure if Solar wants to overwhelm his opponent again, or if he wants to go for just some early defensive units to tech up into something better later on. But I like that he started to take up as fast as possible. I think that is absolutely the right way to play the matchup against Stargate.
Yeah, I mean, especially since really in the beginning, if the Protoss does go for the Stargate opening, there's not a lot to be scared of initially. It's kind of when it goes to the mid to late game. That's when when the Void Ray numbers get high and optimal. That's when it gets scary. So yeah, really. Zerg players can pretty much drone for the most of the time during the early stages.
Yeah. Getting also a 4th base, good choice again. We see ZEST, starting to take charge and a +1 ground attack as well as a robo and 2 gateways. Like, this is a very fast switch out of Void Rays. You see him usually go for maybe the 4 to 6, he decided to go to 4 and switching out of it very fast. And now you see an explosion of gateways with the Templar Archives coming up really quickly. Like, this was a pretty fast switch out of Stargate.
Yeah, and they're really...
goes down.
Sorry I didn't catch that. But you know what? Yeah, I mean, the Orcas didn't really do too much, I don't think.
No, same. I agree with you.
Yeah, but you know what? Solar getting a really nice potential scout here. Actually haven't gone quite right into the main base to see all these gateways, and might have missed the potential to get the full scout on. And if he's not careful, like, ZEST can just go for a big push and catch Solar with the pants down.
Oh, these Zerglings did get good confirmation. He saw the Archons. He knows that there is something big coming right up. There's a lot of queens for defense by Solar. And honestly, his amount of Ravagers is also getting pretty high. I don't think he's gonna have too many problems here. As long as he keeps creep spread right here, I don't think ZEST can break through this location. Actually, I think ZEST might be in trouble. Like, that's a lot of Ravagers.
Oh yeah, I mean, he is gonna have to get some really money storms, but even then, like, he really needs to rely on these shield batteries to help him survive. So this is gonna be a really scary attack.
Yeah, I love this by Solar, trying to get there before Storm happens with these low queens, but Storm is happening very quickly, and this is a deadly choke point. I don't know if you want to attack into that. It looks like there is a little bit of a counter-attack by ZEST. Roaches will scare away those. Oh, the first beautiful Storm gets on top of these Ravagers. So much damage. These queens cannot dodge these storms. Of course, they're gonna get burned down to ashes by the Templars. The Ravagers still up and standing, still raining biles on top of these Void Rays. Void Ray go down. And here is the rest of the army of ZEST desperately trying to keep these Ravagers at bay. Gotta love those shield battery overcharge.
Yep, but unfortunately that shield battery overcharge has run out, so all that's left are these remaining 3 shield batteries that has completely run out of energy, and oh man, can he hold?
Oh, that's a little bit of a swarming coming from Solar. Even Zerglings are making their way. These Zealots tanking up so much damage, and he looks like he can, Snoopy. It looks like he held.
Oh my god, I was a bit worried there for this because the supply was heavily in favor of Solar, but gotta remember those roaches really kind of inflate those supply counts, so I'm gonna be surprised. ZEST actually holds, and he actually holds onto his 4th base as well.
Yeah, it was a kind of a master hold here. Like, this was an incredible hold. Like, it was so close. That shield battery overcharge doing so much work, but it seems like Solar is not done yet. There's so many Templars right now, though. Like, so many storms at his disposal. It looks like ZEST is keeping them without actually forcing anything. That choke point was a little bit too deadly. Oh, that's a beautiful storm. And more queens are coming up as well. There's a fleet beacon incoming from ZEST. And now, oh my, these storms. Oh my, these storms. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, okay, ZEST. We get it. You're very good, man. You're very good.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Those are definitely some beautiful, beautiful storms.
Yep. They definitely were. Oh, my. Sometimes I feel very lucky that I'm never going to play against ZEST. That was rough, man. Like, there was honestly a very well prepared attack by Solar, but ZEST just incredible with his defense. Like, honestly, it was so close until it was like until it wasn't, right? I don't know if you get me. It's kind of weird to explain it. Like, the beginning of the attack, I was almost sure that ZEST wasn't going to be able to hold. I was thinking maybe he's gonna bile down the shield batteries, but in the end, like, those storms coming in clutch, and Arcane surviving for a long time, yet so many gateways to keep pumping up some zealots and putting up some more bulk in its defenses. And in the end, like, the army remaining from ZEST was quite a strong one. And Solar didn't have anything, really.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see if Solar has an answer for ZEST in this game number 3, which will take place on Submarine LE.
Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, leading the series, it's the red Protoss player. Lever Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is ZEST.
And spawning here at the top left, we have the blue Zerg player. Playing for KaiZ Gaming, it is Solar. Alright, so Solar choosing Submarine LE, and I gotta say, not a bad map for him to choose.
Yeah, a little bit of an aggressive map, it seems. I'm expecting maybe him to kind of play similarly to the last game, but this map should make his life a lot better. Like, imagine that attack by Solar hit him before Storm is done. Like, we would have been telling a very different story.
Alright, so looks like a standard opening here by both players here.
Yeah.
Nexus gonna be plotted down. Now I mean, both games ZEST has gone for that same Stargate opening. Do you think he's gonna once again go for the 3 times in a row?
I really can't tell with ZEST. One of its strengths is that he's absolutely unpredictable, and I mean, I'm expecting like a Depths or some robo play. I don't really like Stargate play on Submarine. I think it's a little bit too dangerous. There's not a lot of places in which you can hide an army, and the map is pretty small, so it doesn't really make a difference. But it's ZEST, right? He can really do anything he wants. So yeah, it is Stargate.
Yeah, I mean, ZEST is one of those players that has so much build orders under his sleeves that is really difficult to tell which builds he's gonna go for. He can literally go for any type of builds, but yeah, he's gonna go for the same build. It seems like, I mean, it has worked out pretty well for him. So I mean, if it ain't broke, right, don't fix it.
Absolutely, and it ain't broke at all since he's leading the series 2-0, and I'm not expecting him to delve deeply into the Stargate tech. Maybe like the 4 Void Rays, as in the previous game. To then switch out into something different, but if Solar decides to play a little bit more aggressively, it might be a little bit more difficult to survive that switch. Let's see what he does, and he's gonna open with an Oracle right here.
Yeah, a little bit of a different opening, because remember the last 2 games he did open up with Void Ray first.
Yep.
This time around, going for that Oracles and a quicker Twilight Council. I'm thinking we might see some Adept Claves.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. He wants to get rid of that overload, and it's not gonna be a hard task to do so. Meanwhile, Solar spreading a lot of vision through the map, keeping his Zerglings pretty much everywhere he needs, and he's gonna try and get that Stalker, forcing some energy out of the Oracle, and it's good scouting information, but that Twilight Council is what you want to really see. It's what you want to absolutely scout before it hits you.
Yeah, so far, Solar still in the dark. Has absolutely 0 vision in ZEST's base. Let's see if he has any inkling of what's coming.
Oh man, I don't know, he needs way more Zergling than this, and he's running up pretty happily. I don't think he is expecting something different than the previous games. Oh, a lair. I absolutely hate lair against Adept Opener. You gotta be like a godlike defender, which Solar can be, but it's so hard to defend if you go for a lair. And now you're gonna go for Roach Warren, which is honestly a good choice, but it's still gonna be a pretty difficult hold. The Adept's number is quickly rising.
Yeah, and I feel like Solar droned up a little bit too much, going up to 52. I mean, if he does hold this, that's pretty good for him, but I mean, he's going to have tons of Adepts coming his way, and that lane does finally scout a bunch of Adepts, and it's going to force a bunch of unit production from Solar.
Roach Warren finishes right in time, actually. The Adepts are making their way. Roaches will not be ready for the first wave, will be for the second though. And here come the Adepts. The wall is not completely up. Oh, that will be a beautiful place for these Adepts to try and get in. The shade comes through on the ramp, and it's already a lot of units waiting for them, actually. Solar seems pretty confident against these Adepts, really not breaking a sweat, and ZEST is sent scattering with its tail between its legs.
Yeah, that was quite of a questionable shade-in. I feel like that might have been a mistake or something, because I mean, there's so much units on top of those Adepts, and I'm surprised he actually let them finish shading in. So might have been a little bit of a blunder there, but it's going to cost ZEST a bunch of Adepts, and he's going to have to retreat for the time being.
Yeah, I don't know what he had in his mind. Maybe he was thinking there were less units, but that was definitely a death sentence for those Adepts. And now ZEST is gonna work up with a heavily army supply disadvantage for a little while.
Yeah, he is going to go ahead and actually continuously making some more roaches, getting that Glio constitution, getting that roach speed to possibly just move across the map. I mean, he droned up pretty nicely in the beginning without really losing anything to that glaive of depth. So he is sitting pretty nicely, and I would say that yeah, I think he's sitting comfortably and should probably take down the 4th base very soon as well.
I don't know, man. It's not droning by a while. Like, I don't remember the last time I've seen a drone in that production tab.
Yeah, you're right. He is
That's a lot of units. Ooh. Yeah, I think he's going all in.
Yeah, the funny thing is that ZEST is going kind of committed too on his side.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw down a bunch of gateways and now he's moving across the map.
That's kind of a beautiful place to try and hold. There's a lot of sentries, yes, but that's a lot of Ravagers as well. Like, the biles come flying down and there's so many roaches coming streaming in. So many beautiful force fields by ZEST, making this fight an horrible thing to do for Solar. Sadly, for the Protoss player, strength is in numbers right now, and there's so many roaches and Ravagers out for the Blue Zerg. I really doubt that ZEST can do much better than these. GG gets gold, and Solar takes the first game of his series.
Yeah, he is not going to go down with an all kill for on ZEST's side. He is going to put up a fight, and he is has put himself in a position where he can tie up the series here in the 4th map. But of course, it's going to be ZEST's choice. Going to be curious to see what map he goes for, but gotta say, well played there by Solar, and you can see why Submarine is so you know, so good for Zerg players.
Yeah, it's a really unforgiving map if you decide to go for something very aggressive and it doesn't work out, which is exactly what ZEST did. But he made some questionable choices, like the shade. And also, I'm not really sure about this target into Glaive Adepts and a Robo as well. Maybe you need to cut one of those things, and probably the Robo is the one you have to cut. Submarine is a short map. You don't really feel the need of a Warp Prism, and going for that Robo before attacking, I think it was kind of a mistake. It was trying to not be committed into the build while being kind of committed into it. And as you can see, these kind of undecisions don't really work out.
Okay, I think I might be the one. I'm gonna pass you the leader. So let's see if you can create and invite me in. If it's on me again, I'll go ahead and re-log in.
Alright, it's fine.
Awesome. Alright. So it looks like our 4th map will be on Romanticide LE. ZEST heading into this game with a 2-1 lead. Before we get into game number 4, guys, just a friendly reminder, there is a Matcherino link on top of the chat box. Head on over there quickly, enter the coupon code APS244. It is so easy, so quick. Help out the players, help out the prize pool, and support esports as Matcherino has been doing for all this time.
Alright. Time for the 4th game of this series. And it's looking quite nice already. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner here on Romanticide is the red Protoss player playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is ZEST.
And spawning here at the top left, you see a blue Zerg player looking to tie up the series. Can he do it? It is Solar. So, of course, as we head into this game, just wanna, give a little bit of a congratulations to ZEST for his recent finish at the IEM Masters Championship. Ended up going into the finals.
Yep.
That's a tall. I mean, that's a huge feat to accomplish, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That series against Parting was insane from start to finish. Parting leading the series 2-0 and then falling 3-2 against ZEST. It was a heartbreaking series, but man, this man is made of steel. It's an unbreakable player, really. It's so hard to make him break a sweat. He's always so calm and comfortable in any situation, and that's something you gotta admire in those kind of players.
Yeah, and he was also close in the finals too. I mean, he was just 2 games away from being the world champion at this point. That would have been really, really sweet, because I gotta say, it's been a while since ZEST has won like a major tournament, and so I was like actually looking forward to seeing him win like another major tournament in such a long time. But unfortunately, it wasn't his day. Hopefully next time around he will go that extra further and hopefully pick up a championship.
Also back-to-back finals for him, so not too bad. After Katowice 2020, he reaches the finals this time as well, only to lose to a Zerg again.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, ZEST going once again for that Stargate play. This time around, I would say this map does tend to favor a bit compared to Submarine.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Much more exploitable map, and also a lot of choke points make it a little bit harder for the Protoss army to maneuver around. So I definitely think it's a good choice here.
Alright. Now, of course, he went for the Glaive Adepts the last time around. I don't quite expect him to go for the same one again. I would expect him to go back to what he did in game number 1 and 2. I think that's more solid on this map. Allows him to, of course, get that third base, or transition to that third base a bit more smoothly as well. So, yeah, I kind of expect, or I'm anticipating a kind of a macro game on this game number 4.
Yeah, it's definitely the most possible thing. We see Solar getting kind of an aggressive scout with these Zerglings, not gonna cancel anything or get anything, but the Void Ray already made its way all the way up into the Zerg base. Oh, and that's a cancel on a Spore Crawler, and that's gonna be another cancel on a Spore Crawler. Oh, good. Yeah, alright. I mean, Solar did waste some of ZEST's time, but his queens were way out of position. Oh, another Spore Crawler, and this was not a cancel actually. Yeah, Solar slipping up in its micro a little bit, queens nowhere to be seen, loses a Spore Crawler without cancelling it, forcing himself to do, I think it was like 4 cancels. That was shaky, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, he did force a little bit off of mine time. Not a huge big deal. There was not a lot of drones there to start off with, but I feel like ZEST actually missed his chance because the queens were kind of walking over towards the natural, and I think because ZEST forgot to rally his Oracle to the other bases. Like, the other bases was actually wide open. They didn't have any Spore Crawlers. They didn't have the queens there because the queens were heading onto the natural to defend against the Void Rays. And so I feel like ZEST kind of had a missed opportunity to kind of pick up some drones with that Oracle.
Yeah, it is absolutely possible he could have done a little bit better in that scenario. This Oracle is sitting there with just 2 kills, well, 3 kills, but not really much to do aside of that. And Solar is taking this chance to tech up, get a little bit more drones, start to pump out some roaches in a little while maybe. And who knows, maybe that will work out better than the previous games against these Stargate openers. This Oracle is getting heads right now though. 4 more kills. The Spore Crawler was not really close to that mining line. And he's gonna pay for that. 6 workers, well, 7 workers total killed by that Oracle. The numbers are starting to climb up, and that's a Spire play, yes.
Oh. A little bit of a change up here. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious to see what is going to be his choice. Mutas is probably going to be the most possible thing. But I'm not sure that is the right thing to do right now. Like, ZEST looks like he's kind of rushing Storm and Archons. Like, covering up the only real weakness of this bit. Oh, finally this Oracle goes down for Solar. It was a little bit too annoying for him in these past few minutes. But as I was saying, like, it looks like ZEST has perfected this build order exactly to counter the Mutas within.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit scared for Solar.
Yeah, same here. I mean, he already has 2 Stargates, so if he ever wanted to, he can kind of just go straight into double Phoenixes. Although I don't think he even needs to right now, because he does have some Archons. The Storm is a little bit late though, so maybe he might need to produce some Phoenixes. But I mean, yeah, the Mutilas are popping out, so this is going to have to respond to them in the very, very near future.
Yeah, he's oh, the Mutas actually go past him unseen, which is definitely a boon from heaven for Solar, who's gonna really take some free damage over here. There is a photon cannon, but there isn't one in the main. Oh boy, that's gonna be a lot of damage. Probably a recall is gonna be forced right here. These Mutas are already taking... Oh, they're dealing so much damage already. Yeah, here comes the recall. A little bit of a late one, I'd say. And Solar finds himself dealing only with the Mutas. With the Void Rays, I mean. Yeah, that's definitely a fight Solar will take. He's gonna lose a couple of these. But the first Phoenixes are already quite late into the party. And 13 probes have fallen down. Solar is maxed out currently.
Oh man. Yeah, he is like almost twice the amount of supply, overall supply there of ZEST. Oh man, this is gonna be pretty hard to hold, I say.
Yeah, he starts off with a beautiful Storm. He needs way more than that to hold this beautiful attack coming from Solar. That's a lot of Roach and Ravagers. The Rings have made their work, taking up a lot of damage, but this is an army that I don't think ZEST can easily deal with. Void Rays trying to focus down Queens and Ravagers, but they're failing to do so. Here comes the Zealots though, to kind of deal the rest of the damage. Mutas in the main, still going rampage. The Phoenixes finally deal with them. But as you can see in the production tab, there's a lot of units coming from Solar. There's not much coming from ZEST.
Yeah, I mean, he does have 6 Templars, however, no energy on them. So if Solar does tend to, or decides to move out right now, he can probably catch them before they got Storm energy. But even so, like, you look at the worker count, Solar is ahead by almost 20 workers. In the army supply, he is ahead by almost, I guess, 80 or 80 army supply. Oh, no, actually, no, that's my math is wrong. A 70 army supply.
70, yeah.
And this might be GG here.
Yeah, beautiful concave coming right up for Solar. He's not really even dodging these storms. He has so much more army that he can just brute force past. And Solar ties up the score.
Yeah, and I would say I would give the MVP award to those muralists, because...
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it at all as well.
Yeah, I mean... He made the spire like at the ramp area of the main base, but the initial Orko was flying on the outskirts, so it wasn't able to scout the spire, wasn't able to scout the Mutalisk, and we've all been there as Protoss players where we get caught with our pants down by Mutalisk, and it's a very ugly sight.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay, Oxide.
So Solar does tie up the series. So we have ourselves a tied series, ladies and gentlemen. And that means whoever wins this next game is going to go ahead and take the series lead. Let's see who does so. Of course, that means that we're left with, let's see, one map. We haven't played on Pillars of Gold yet.
Yeah.
I don't think do we play on Lightshade?
We didn't play. No, we didn't. Those
Okay.
are the 2 maps left.
All right, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Just waiting. Yeah, okay. We're ready now.
Awesome. All right. Here we go, guys.
Yeah, this map is one of those maps that really made ZEST famous, to be honest. Like, his adept timing was so obnoxious on Oxide. Also, his Void Rays were kind of obnoxious on this map. I think I've never seen him lose on this map, really. But who knows? There's always a first time, right?
Yep.
Alright. Here we are, spawning in the top right-hand corner. Just being tied in the series after leading 2 points to 0. It's the Red Protoss playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is ZEST.
And you're spawning at the bottom left corner of the map. He is the blue Zerg player playing for Kaizi Gaming. He is powered by the sun. He is Solar.
I'm kind of expecting Stargate again just because it's ZEST and is well known for, yeah, this thing is good. So I'm just gonna make it 9 times in a row.
I mean, I guess if you're betting on what kind of build orders, I'm not sure they even do that in the betting sites. I never took on that. Yeah, I don't think they do. I think they're just more on wins and losses. But
yeah, that
would
be
be
kind of complicated.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I seen like in other sports, like professional sports, they do more specific betting. Like I know in the NBA, I've heard of people betting on how many I guess like points one team will score, or how many fouls or something, or how many rebounds and stuff like that. So I've seen like more specific bets on those professional sports, but I don't think StarCraft has those types of specific ones. I might be wrong though.
Yeah, I don't think it does as well. Like, it could have some of those, but probably like betting is not really super evolved into esports. Not yet, at least. So maybe in the future years we're gonna see some more polished betting for these kind of games. And it is a Stargate again in the end.
Yeah, going to his bread and butter.
Yeah, definitely can't be mad at him, really. Like, this is one of these his builds that have been most successful, and especially players such as Solar can easily suffer to these very versatile Stargate openers.
Now, of course, ZEST usually have those kind of timing builds, and then also he has his kind of I guess go-to builds as well. Now, in the finals of the IEM Masters Championship, Reina was able to kind of adapt to the playstyle of ZEST, because ZEST was playing very aggressive and doing very time-basing attacks. The question is, can Solar also replicate what Reina did and kind of adapt to ZEST? This is a best of 9, so there's a lot more opportunities compared to a best of 7 or a best of 5, where you can kind of adapt to your opponent a bit more, because of course there's more games to kind of study and learn the play style or the kind of the builds that your opponent's going for.
Yeah, there's definitely a bigger chance for Solar to make up for the mistakes in the first 2 games. He's already starting to do that. Oh, but man, it's not gonna be as easy as Rainer made it up to be. Like, that guy makes everything look easy, and trust me, it really isn't.
Must be those Italian pasta or something, cause
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
All right, only getting 2 drones here, but the more important thing is that the Oracle does survive, so he can poke in there later on. But we do see that second Stargate once again coming down.
We see again an early lair followed up by a Roach Warren by Solar. The same thing he did in game number 2, I think. Game number 4, he decided to go for a little bit of a later lair and Roach Warren. I don't know if that was intentional, but it kind of worked out fine. Like, him having so much more workers at this stage was really a boon for him. Like, it made him win that game straight up only onto the economy factor. So I would like Solar to play more focused on economy. I don't think there's many threats to him right now, and adding up this much tech is well needed, but I would like him to take a 4th base right now, really.
Yeah, I would love to see him take a 4th base as well. So far, there's really nothing ZEST can do to deny it. Maybe if he sent all his Void Rays there, but looks like he's just keeping them back. And also, you know, I think it looks like Solar should have enough queens to defend any Void Ray attacks as well.
Yeah. And this Oracle is flying right past them. Not gonna be a good journey for the Food Oracle. Drops down a Revelation and heads back, and it's an infestation pit. Oh, that makes a lot more sense now.
Do you think it's going to be for the same Stormhost thing that he did?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, not even a question right now. We're probably gonna see even a Nidus Worm coming up in a little, but of course he's keeping up those resources to pump out as many Wormos as possible, as fast as possible. Yeah, here they are.
Alright, this time around, no Nidus network, it seems like, so...
It's a shorter map, so...
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, especially with him opening up with the rocks, right?
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I never really thought too much into this, because Wormos are kind of out of the meta of the current times. But Oxide is really a very good map for Wormos. It's really easy to abuse a lot of locations.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very, very wide map, so you can kind of place your Nidus Worm like left, right, center.
Yeah, and so many rocks, so many high and low ground ramps, and you come to this Wormos. It looks like he's sending in the queens as well to defend this Wormos, but ZEST is kind of just pushing past it. Like, the best strategy against Wormos is to ignore this Wormos, it seems. And ZEST really embracing that kind of strategy, attacking the 3rd base of Solar right now.
Yeah. I guess I'm surprised, but I guess he doesn't feel like he can just straight up win against the Stormhost. He doesn't have any Storm right now, so I guess he's trying to buy some time or go for a base trade of some sort.
He's dropping down on the Dark Shrine as well. Like, finally the Queens come back home to deal with the Void Rays, but the Warp Prism is the real MVP as of now. These beautiful Warpins have really made life difficult for Solar. And as you can see, like, the Ravager is trying to drop down piles on these Void Rays. It's not really working. Finally, it looks like the Zealots have been cleared just for another wave to come right up. The Oracle is dealing with the Swarmos top left, and the Swarmos weren't quite able to get on top of the Nexus. It looks like ZEST has bought himself enough time. It was a little bit of a pricey hold, but it was a hold.
Yeah, oh man, but this the Swarmhost counterattack is still commencing here, and yeah, the supply doesn't look good for our Protoss here.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there were a couple of beautiful plays with the Oracle, actually getting 4 kills, 1 drone and all Swarmos. But Solar is not really doubling down on the Swarmos, it's just making Zerglings and Roaches and trying to go in for the final fight. 22 more Zerglings in the production tab, even grouped spines for the Hydra list. And ZEST is gonna just stop out And Solar with a 3-2 lead. That
Yeah.
was that is starting to look like a neat comeback.
Yeah, I mean, he is on a roll. He's on a 3-game winning streak. Looking to extend it to 4. That's pretty nice.
I'm not too sure that was a good decision by ZEST over there. Like, Swarmos forced you to play defensively for a reason. And that reason is that Swarmos are kind of very bulky. They're very tanky. Like, it takes a lot to kill a Swarmos. So, you can't really go for an all-out attack and be like, okay, these 2 units are gonna deal with the Swarmos once the first wave of Locusts is done. Because it doesn't work like that. Like, those Swarmos are going to survive, they're going to make another wave, and the rest of the army wasn't even really that strong for ZEST. Maybe it was a desperate maneuver, but if it was, I'm really curious about what went different down in game number 1 at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, well, first of all, you know, in comparing to game number 1, there was like the skipping of the Nidus network. So that allows him to, of course, invest more gases into more swarm hosts, get those swarm host numbers higher. He invested into less roaches as well. So I guess again more of those gases into. Oh, actually, hold that thought. Let me go ahead and just quickly update the score. 3-2. All right. Like as I was saying, basically investing more of the gases into the swarm host, and then also. ZEST was kind of a bit greedy going for that 4th base.
Yeah.
And wasn't able to, you know, get enough of the army to defend. So in the end, Solar takes game number 5. And here we go. Game number 6 on Pillars of Gold.
Spawning in the top right hand corner. Losing 3 in a row. He needs to do better this time to make it up for these losses. Playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is ZEST.
And spawn here at the bottom left corner of the map. He is the Blue Zerg, hailing from Korea, representing the team of Kaizi Gaming, and looking to extend his win streak to number 4. Can he do it? It is Solar.
Getting into match point with a 4-game streak. Oh, I'm sure he will definitely appreciate that.
Maybe he just drank like a gulp of G Fuel and all of a sudden he's powered up.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Oh wait, do they even have G Fuel in Korea? I'm not even sure.
You know what? I don't think so. Now that you let me think about it, oh, well. It's an import, right?
Yeah, we'll just pretend there's G Fuel in Korea.
Yeah, he can import it from anywhere, right? Can he?
I think so, probably.
It's pretty expensive, though.
Yeah.
Well. Solar spends a lot for its G Fuel, guys, so why you shouldn't? And it is a Stargate again. This time it's Pillars of Gold, so yeah, of course it's going to be Stargate, but then again it really feels like Solar has made all the changes he needed to do to make up for ZEST. Wow, what is that? Oh my. Is that +1 air weapons at 2:30 minutes into the game?
Oh my goodness, you are right. Wow,
It's
what?
keeping warp.
What is this?
Wow, is this mass phoenixes? I don't really think... Or is it like in the void ray only? Oh my, I'm so curious now.
Yeah. And you know what? Solar pulled back his Overlord in the natural, so he has like... I'm not sure he has any eyes on this. He's probably thinking it's Warp Gate, actually, if he even scouted it.
Yeah, like, how can you even scout this? It is impossible to scout. Like, well, you can see the gateways have not turned into warp gateways. Oh my god. Yeah, like right now he sees like oh my, this is beautiful. I'm so excited for this game.
You know, this is either like a huge mistake by ZEST or it's very, very intentional. I'm gonna guess it's very, very intentional because yeah. I mean,
imagine this being a mistake.
I know, right?
It would be hilarious, but yeah, like right now, Solar should know this is not warp, because by 4 minutes you kind of are supposed to have warp, so you should know. Oh my, does he know?
I'm not sure. I mean, he is making some queens, so that should help us somewhat against those void rays.
Yeah, roaches don't really do much against phoenixes. That's... yeah. More links is probably the best choice here. But... yeah, okay, warp is finally in the makings. Yeah, and now I'm positive Solar knows what's up.
Yeah,
because like, sending another Zerglings there, he knows there's no warp.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotta. I mean, because you would expect the warp gates to be done by now.
Yeah. Like, it's easy to not see that because you're probably so used to see warp that you kind of don't expect this. But I think that a player such as Solar is really up on its perception, I'd say, to put it in D&D terms.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, he's making some roaches right now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you're playing against like massive void rays if going for roaches is the correct answer, or maybe just some safety roaches just in case.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad choice. Like, oh yeah, these void rays are gonna deal a lot of damage as well as those phoenixes. They're gonna tear through any mineral line so quickly, and I don't want to be that overlord. Look how fast he goes down. Like phoenixes, they usually just 2 shots the drones without upgrades, but with upgrades they kill overlords so fast. And there's a Nidus Worm coming for Solar. Nidus can be incredibly tricky to deal with for ZEST, but he has already a lot of void rays. If he has those void rays in the right position, it's not gonna be like an easy way in for Solar.
Oh, he's gonna have to take out that overlord in the main base. Oh, it looks like the first Nidus Worm is actually right outside here instead.
Always the better choice. Not gonna risk that first investment into the Nidus Worm, but these void rays really do pack a punch. Like that +1 upgrade really makes those air units very scary. Like these queens are just gonna get lifted up and melted through by all these air units. Oh, Queen survives, even just barely, but there's so much energy still on these phoenixes that it doesn't really even matter. All of the queens are actually falling one after the other, so much energy used by those that it really doesn't even matter. The void rays and the phoenixes dealing so much damage, only the ravagers are left standing. But the damage taken by ZEST by now is not really that high. More queens are coming right up. It looks like finally Solar has made a dent in the wall, but these Zerglings really need to do wonders here at the third base to make this attack work. You can see Solar supply plummeting really quickly. These void rays really punishing the play out of Solar. +1 void rays deal such an outstanding amount of damage, and it looks like Solar is sent back scattering to defend at this Nidus Worm. 2 queens left. Both of them are gonna get lifted and melted by those phoenixes. Even more phoenixes are incoming. Even the Twilight Council is incoming. And these void rays have no intention of going down.
Yeah, this attack is quickly losing momentum. And I gotta say, ZEST, I feel like, is gonna be pretty happy with that defense.
Yeah, it was super committed on the side of Solar as well. He's 20 workers behind. He doesn't really have any way out. Yeah, he's gonna just stop out, and ZEST ties up the score again. It was an odd game, I'd say.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, because I feel like Solar didn't really quite understand what was going on. I think he kind of scouted it, but by the time he scouted it, it was a bit too late. and I think he was kind of a plan that he just kind of thought of at the spot. But at the time, you know, ZEST had his third base. He was able to pull out enough shield batteries and cannons to defend that attack, and yeah, it was just really hard for Solar, especially since that wasn't like the greatest amount of queens in that army. So yeah, just well defended there by ZEST, I gotta say.
Yeah, all the pieces of the puzzle correctly at the right moment. And it was an impressive game by ZEST, like a very outstanding kind of build order. Like, it was really an interesting way to play this matchup, and I feel like Solar decided to do the one worst thing you could possibly do at that stage. Of course, expecting that kind of play from the side of ZEST is so hard. Like, you honestly can't expect that +1 air weapons. It's such a unique opener, and ZEST really made it through with his own style, right? With his own uniqueness, and that's what really impresses me the most about this player.
Yeah, we were talking about him earlier. Like, he has so many build orders up his sleeve, and that, I gotta say, was a build order that I have not seen in at least in quite some time. And like you said, it's so difficult to scout that, because I mean, every Protoss is probably gonna go research warp gate tech, not gonna be researching +1 air at that point. And there's really no way of I mean, short of like ZEST actually telling Solar straight up, hey, look, I'm going for +1 air. I'm not actually going for warp gate tech. Believe me or not. Even then, I think Solar Solar will probably be like,
yeah,
he's lying.
I wouldn't believe him. I wouldn't believe him. Let's all be honest.
Yeah.
It was very hard to believe him seeing that upgrade going up. Like, for a moment I thought he was going to cancel it and start warping, but he didn't. And it worked out quite magnificently. And let's see what he has up in his sleeve in this 7th game of the series, spawning in the top left-hand corner here on Lightshade, playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. The silver medal at Katowice, it is ZEST.
And spawning here at the bottom right corner of the map, he's the blue Zerg player, hailing from Korea and playing for the team of KaiZ Gaming. It is Solar.
You know what? I can't wait to see another one of those Chinese team league. It was so interesting last year.
Oh yeah, actually it's starting up pretty soon, I believe. I think they kind of renamed it to World Team League. It was just announced on the on Team Liquid, and there's a number of teams participating in that. So including Alpha X, of course. But yeah, it is going to be pretty stacked.
Yeah, like so many incredible teams throughout the world. Like even with Jiner closing up, there's still so many great teams taking up this important heritage, right? Like it is it is really beautiful to see the game improve in a way that allows many teams to grow up, such as Alpha X as well. Yeah, KaiZ Gaming, Dragon Phoenix Gaming, a lot of these teams. Some of them are not these lucky, some players find themselves without a team. But some other teams are thriving, really. And it's really beautiful to see for the whole scene in general. Yeah, I really can't wait to see this Team League.
Yeah, same here. And I'm actually really curious and excited to see how the new team of Shopify Rebellion does, because they picked up some strong players, and also very evenly distributed in terms of races. So they're kind of very flexible in terms of their race. lineup, and so yeah, I'm interested to see how they do as their first like main team event.
Yeah, there's going to be some very beautiful games. I'm absolutely positive about that. So it's gonna be an Oracle opener on the side of ZEST. Solar really adapting to what his opponent is doing every single game in true Zerg style. We're on like shit. This match is going to be the one who's gonna give the first match point to any of those two players. So it really is a turning point of this series.
Yeah, and mind you, this is the 7th game, so after this game, the map pool resets, and the players, the loser of this game, will be able to choose whatever map they decides to and desire to choose. So, but in the meantime, of course, we do see kind of a pretty standard opening by both players. Nothing too crazy to start off. I think there's only a total of 1 drone going down. Also 1 probe as well. I wonder where that was from.
Yeah, on the other side of the map at the third.
I see.
Kind of sent a couple of Zerglings, but the base is going up anyway. Yeah, forcing the Oracle back home, it's really not too bad for Solar. He can easily take up, and he's gonna drop down a two Roach Warrants. That is definitely a mistake. He's not even making a lair, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I am not. Yeah, that is definitely a mistake, especially with that.
Absolutely. 100%.
Will he be able to cancel in time? That is a question. We'll keep our eyes on that to see if he does finally realize it. But that Roach Warren is about to finish.
Oh yeah, it is. And there are bigger troubles coming in. 3 Oracles come flying, Twilight Council and Forge and Robo, all things going up inside the base of ZEST. And these Oracles are really making it work. Only one of them is actually going to fall before getting so many kills. 2 Queens, a couple drones. That's definitely a victory on the side of ZEST. And that Roach Warren indeed went up. Double Roach Warren play. Let's go.
Well, I mean, we saw like a really strange build in the last game from ZEST. This time around, Solar is going for a very strange build that doesn't make sense, but who knows, maybe it could still work out in the end as we see a stream of blue coming across the map.
Yeah, that's a lot of units in the production tab. 18 more links coming in, and there's already a bunch of Ravagers. Roaches are making their way, as well as the Queens. These Oracles can't really fight these many Queens, and here they are sent on top of the Ravagers and Roaches. ZEST doesn't really have a tough army to face this amount of Roaches and Ravagers. Queens getting on top of these Oracles already. One of them in red elf almost falls down, and it really looks like ZEST doesn't really have enough to deal with this. The Queens are left up and attacking everything in their range, transfusing left and right, and it doesn't really look like ZEST has enough. This one Immortal is really packing up a bunch. A lot of Zerglings are sent into the Stalkers, dying, but they're taking up so much damage for these Ravagers to keep getting value, to keep dropping down piles. More Zerglings are coming right up. Finally, one of the Queens, it seems like it is about to fall, but the Immortal is about to fall as well. Inside the base of ZEST, here in the natural, there's nothing left standing. Balance went down, empowering so many useful structures. Finally, the shield battery tops up the shields out of these Immortal, but so many probes are falling one after the other. The Queens are kiting backwards, but here comes a second Immortal. This could make it a little bit closer, but so many workers have been falling down for ZEST. Solar has found the right recipe to break through. Last Immortal left standing for ZEST. Rain of piles on the photon cannon. The shield batteries are really helping ZEST survive at the third. But the game is definitely over. GG gets called and Solar gets to match point.
Yes, even with 2 Roach Warrens, he still manages to work out. Solar is going to go ahead and potentially win this series in this upcoming game. Zest, of course, is going to have something to say about that.
Oh, definitely, but has been quite a beautiful series from Solar. Like, he's been playing consistently great, and even being behind in the score for 2 games in a row, winning 3 in a row, then losing 1, he didn't really lost his momentum, even losing that 5th game. It really looks like, that 6th game, sorry. It really looks like he's keeping up that momentum. He went for a very fast build order, and it really paid out.
Yeah, and mind you, he is playing against someone by the likes of Zest, who is possibly, arguably, playing his best StarCraft in quite some time. So
Yep.
this is pretty impressive by Solar for him to right now be up 4-3 match points here on game number 8 on Death Aura.
Spawning in the top left-hand corner is the red Protoss player. Playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, he needs 2 in a row. Can he do it? It is ZEST.
And spawning here at the bottom right, he's the blue Zerg player playing for Kaizi Gaming. 1 game away from clinching the series. It is Solar.
Alright, back to Death Aura, where it all started. I don't really think that Solar is going to do for that same kind of Swarmos build again here on Death Aura. It really didn't work the first time. But honestly, the one who's gotta keep his nerves still, it's ZEST in this scenario. He needs 2 in a row, and Solar really looking like he's playing absolutely perfectly in the last few games. He wins with 2 Roach Warrants.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, I think Solar has kind of started to adapt to Zest's play, because he's kind of noticed that he's gone for Stargate all these games, and so you know, he's kind of doing these aggressive pushes with these roaches and queens. It worked out in the last game, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he went for it the same build here on this map. But we see in the middle, those acceleration zones really help out in terms of moving the queens and roaches across the map pretty quickly. So and then also he's taking that, you know, I guess the supposed natural at the more forward location at the third. So we might possibly see Solar going for an aggressive push in this game to close it out.
Yeah, it's looking like he's kind of exploiting the weaknesses in ZEST game's plan. Up to this time, like the previous game especially was the one that showed this the most. Even the Spire game showed how Solar can really break the defenses of it. Even the game on Oxide actually was a very aggressive game by Solar. It really looks like the best way to play against ZEST right now is to approach this more aggressive playstyle. And Solar, a very good player when it comes to be very aggressive.
Indeed. Indeed. And here we go once again, opening up with that Void Ray. Now this time around, interestingly enough, no overlords nearby. I think Solar is like, I'm gonna save my initial overlords. I know you're going for the Stargate Void Ray possibly again, so just gonna go ahead and, you know, save the overlord, keep it safe. Now that of course does limit the amount of scouting information that Solar can go for,
but that Zergling did scout the Void Ray in the end, so
yeah,
props to Solar. Like, his Zergling scout is amazing,
and that's what really makes like great Zerg players like really great, because you limit their amount of scouting with the overlord. They have like other ways to, you know, smartly get some scouting information, being very active with those speedlings.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with this statement. Like, the best Zerg players in the world are so proactive with their starting Zerglings. They get so much information, so much little cheats of damage as well, and it really makes a difference in the long run. But here comes Void Ray and Oracle at the third base of Solar. Gonna take 3 drones down. Just making a statement that he can play aggressively too.
Alright, you know, those speedlings hacking at the rocks right now, that kind of really signals to me that there is going to be a similar push into from last game. This time around, he is going to get Lair. Not going to get the two Roach Warren, so that's a good thing. But it's getting a quicker Lair, and we might see him, you know, explode. We'll keep an eye if he does make a bunch of Overlords. I think that will be the final signal to see that he is going to go across the map.
Yeah, 4 extractors, also kind of a signal already. But it needs to break down one of those 2 rock clusters. It really needs to. This one, it seems like it's about to fall. Doesn't really look like ZEST is stopping that as well. He's getting charged, good choice, and 2 more Void Rays. And here it is, the amount of Overlords you were wishing to see is never below the 2 in production. Oh, so right about that until now, where he started 9 roaches.
Alright, Revelation does go down on the natural. That should give him vision to see if what is he producing. Is he producing drones? Is he producing army? Now, of course, that kind of leaves it to ZEST to be active with his scouting, to look over there and not just like look away. And let's see here. Does he build those shield batteries and cannons?
Oh, 4 more gateways, a Templar Archives. That's I mean, that's a bold choice, but if he manages to hold with this explosion of gateways right now, without a shield battery, well, he's dropping down a shield battery, with so few defensive options, that will be absolutely game-changing. But it's gonna be very difficult. Like, his first Immortal is only halfway through. Storm is not gonna be done anytime soon. He's gonna be having probably mostly a couple Archons with this defense. And it's not like he has an outstanding amount of Void Rays or anything, really. Like, how many does he have? It's the usual 4.
4, yeah, only 4.
Oh my.
Oh, you know what? Solar has done a really great job hiding those roaches to the last minute. And that has gave ZEST a false sense of safety. And he has only 2 shield batteries at this dirt base.
Yeah, the Archons finally managed to merge, but here comes the Biles raining down. These Archons didn't do absolutely anything, and now the Queens have made their way on top of these Void Rays with half his army supply. Solar is already breaking through. Now that the Queens are joining up the party, it's gonna be even worse for ZEST. It's looking definitely similar to the last game. These few Void Rays really are trying to make their best to keep these Queens occupied. Few Biles should come raining down in a moment. Shield batteries are both out of energy. Actually, one of them is unpowered. The 12 probes have fallen down. It's up to these Immortal and these Charge Bloods. Here comes the Biles raining down. Void Rays manage to barely dodge them, but they can't dodge this Queen's attack. Here goes the Robo Bay, and here goes the series. Solar wins 5-3.